Hello everyone and welcome back to the series Becoming Her. My name is Andrea Lindsay and this is episode number 3. If you have not seen the first 2, please go back, watch it, because I get to tell you and explain to you how the Lord took me through the first 2 steps, which were pivotal for me becoming the woman that I currently am, and that was ridding myself of idols, and number 2, just surrendering my entire idea of life and saying, Lord, if you want to take this from me, you can have it. You don't have to fight with me. I don't have to ask you for signs. We don't have to go through this path of really trying to see, is God asking me, is this what God is asking of me? Absolutely, Lord. I know this is what you want from me. I give it to you freely. So episode number 3 is going to be talking about the daily fellowship that the Lord is going to build with you as you rid yourself of the idols, you surrender your life totality to Him, and now He's going to sit down and He's going to allow you to get to know Him so that He can open your eyes to you. And so I just want to share with you that journey and what it looked like for me. And this happened about 2 years ago. Well, 3 years ago, technically 3 years ago. But the fellowship and getting into that routine, not even routine, just getting into just building that relationship with Him really began 2 years ago. So, so we're gonna go back to 3 years ago, and I'm gonna give you a little more insight on how I became the woman that I am today by the grace of God. So 3 years ago, I was, in a brief relationship with someone. God had told me to end this relationship and give me all of you, Andrea. I don't want you to go to the gym anymore. I don't want you to eat any meat anymore. These were so specific details and instructions that was my level of consecration. I will not say, and I believe in the previous video, I said, this is what God had me to do. You can emulate it, copy it all you want. That does not mean you're going to get the same results. It means that you need to sit at the feet of the Lord, listen to Him, and allow Him to instruct you to go through your level of consecration so that you can end up where He wants you to be. It does not say that if you do what I do that you're going to end up where I am. All right, so the Lord said, no relationships, no social media, no gym, no meat. So as soon as I got the instructions, I already knew that, Lord, I'm in this same cycle. Lord, I want to progress. You don't have to ask me again. So I gave up all of that, and this was over a period of 8 months. And when I'm talking about the whole no eating, no gym, no social media, I was already done with dating by that time anyways. So I was like, God, it's just you and I. So a couple months after the Lord had given me that instruction to stop eating the meat, stop going to the gym, get off social media, just focus on me. A couple months after that, my job calls and they were like, hey, we can start flying again. Things are starting to cool down after the whole COVID epidemic. And so I was like, okay, cool. Start flying, and the company's like, hey, we need some people to come out and help us in Dallas. And I'm from Arizona. And so, and I was working out of Arizona as well. And so I was like, yeah, I would love to come help. So I did about a week out in Dallas, and I just felt the presence of the Lord. It was just so calming. The people were just so sweet. The hospitality, the Southern hospitality was just like nothing I had seen in Arizona. And I just felt at peace. And so before I went out to Dallas, I had just renewed my apartment contract, the lease. And I had digitally signed it, like, okay, God, I'm just stay here another year. And then He allowed me to go to Dallas, work out there. And so I returned back home after, assisting them in Dallas, and I was like, God, I would love to live in Texas. Just my experience alone from that first week, because every time they're like, anyone want to come to Texas? I'm like, me. So I was just like, God, I would really love to live there. And so I was like, maybe next year, because I had just signed my lease. And so I remember it was probably within that same week, I go down, I need to pay my rent for the month, and I go down and I'm like, hey, I'm just here to pay my rent. And then they have new management. So the company was just bought out. And so they're like, okay, yeah, no problem. And did you want to renew your lease, or did you want to vacate? And I was like, oh, I signed it digitally, so thinking it should be in the system. So she's looking and she's like, we can't find it. So did you want to vacate or did you want to renew? And so I stopped and I was like, God, do you want me to vacate? And the Holy Spirit's like, girl, how you gonna ask me to go to Dallas and I make the way for you and then you over here questioning? So literally in that, I was like, oh, you know what? No. I want to vacate. Let me just go ahead and pay this last one out, and I'm ready to move out. and I had just like redecorated the apartment and refurnished everything. So everything was pretty much brand new, not even a month. So new bed, new this, all that. And so as I'm just joyfully going back to my apartment, I'm like, God, I have all this stuff. What do you want me to do with it? Like, I don't want to throw it away. Who do I give it to? And so I'm just praying, like, God, I'll give it away. I don't, like, you know, if we can sell whatever. But I really was big on just wanting to give it away. Like, God, I just didn't want, God was my supplier. Like, the job was paying me well. So I wasn't concerned about the money. I just wanted to make sure that I could help somebody out. So as I'm putting some stuff by the dumpster so that people who are going to the dumpster could, you know, easily access it and just take it. And there's this gentleman who was working for the complex. So he was a painter. And so the Holy Spirit said, go ask, sorry, there's a fly in here. Like, God forbid, you know, God. Anyways, I tried to kick it. That's why I'm laughing. So the Holy Spirit was like, go ask that guy. So I go up to him, I was like, hey, I'm moving out. As you can see, he's like, yeah, I saw you put some stuff on the side. I was like, yeah, I actually have this brand new bed and I wanted to see if you could possibly use it. And he said, I actually just moved into my new apartment and I was sleeping on the floor last night and I needed a bed. And so I was like, oh, perfect. Like, let's come get it. Let's get it. And I was like, anything you want in the apartment, you can have. So he's selecting like the lamps. And again, reminding you, like, everything is new, very good condition. And so he's like, yeah, I want that. I was like, you can have whatever you want. I was like, I will be leaving in a couple days. I have to fly back out to Dallas. And I was like, but, you know, take whatever you can today. When I come back in about a week, you know, you can come back and have the rest. And so fast forward, I come back, I return from Dallas. The man is just taking like whatever, like pretty much the rest of the remaining items. He takes them all. And I have to paint the apartment because I had did an accent wall. So it was this green, like forest green. And that's when he told me, hey, I'm a painter, so I'll go ahead and I'll repaint your whole entire apartment. I was like, oh yeah, because I had holes and all this stuff. So he repainted the apartment. I packed my car, whatever I had that I wanted to take with me to Dallas, the clothes and all that stuff. And I shipped my car off to Dallas. Now this is where I'm going into the whole fellowship, when God gets you to just seek after him like never before. And this was my season of quote unquote isolation, because he had to remove me from family, friends, from the familiarity, because I was so accustomed to, okay, serving everyone and not even serving myself. And if I did, I was the last resort, you know, I was the last person that I would serve. And so he had to take me to a place where I had no choice but to focus on him and to focus on me, refueling me, restoring my soul, restoring my mind. And so in Dallas, I stayed there for about 10 months. The moment that I moved in, the Holy Spirit let me know that this stay was temporary. It was not a permanent stay. So there was no decorating the apartment. It was no buying this and buying that, lavishing it out. You know, it really was, I had a bed, I had bookshelves, but that was it. When I kid you not, I had my kitchen gadgets. Literally, it was the simplest apartment ever. But it was a season of my life where the Lord was like, okay, Drea, you're gonna wake up at 3 o'clock and you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna intercede for the people, for those in your life. Then you can go back to sleep for an hour because we're gonna wake up again. And then at 5 o'clock, we're gonna go for a morning run, and I want you to meet me in a particular area. And like my spirit was just being led. I would go on the run, and like Dallas is not like Arizona. We just have like the mountains, but here you have the forest, you have the trees, you have literally like these routes, right, that could lead you to Houston if you take, no, I'm just kidding, take the wrong route. And so like every morning I would run, and I would just be led, and I'd run to the same spot. So I made that spot that I would check in with the Lord, and I would say, Lord, I'm here. And then we'd go through our morning prayer, and then after that we would just take him through the day. Like even after the morning prayer, we go have breakfast together. And I'm saying we'd have this because I was still communing with him, though the physical prayer in the closet had ended, though the physical prayer at the forest had ended. I was still, as it says, pray continuously. So he and I were going through the day. We'd have breakfast. We go work out at the gym. I'd go to work, even on days like that. Like every moment of the day was around him. But I had to learn it in such a loving way that, God, you are my first. priority. You are the first, the last. So whatever I want to do in life, I want to ensure that your time is first. Even in this season, my life is so flexible. Like, I mean, it's not that I work a 9 to 5. I'm a caregiver, but I don't have children. I am the aunt who cares for children. So currently we have 7 children. Well, first we started off 4 children in the household. Now we have a total of 7. So do not tell me you do not have time. It's a decision you have to make, and you ask the Lord to help you. Lord, what time do you want me to meet with you? Lord, if this is the time that you want me to meet with you, I ask that you accommodate my schedule so that I don't miss that appointment with you, that I don't miss that fellowship with you, because I know this is a relationship that we are building. The Lord taught me that in Dallas. So even coming here, I'm not gonna lie to you, there are days that either I run out of time and I don't have time to pray, or maybe because I didn't set up a particular time. See, sometimes I would have a schedule that was perfectly outlined. I knew at this time, this is the prayer time with Lord. I knew this is word study with the Lord. I knew this is just meditation with the Lord. And then when life started building and building, and I forgot to set that specific time with Him, that I was now just going based off of the day. Like, oh, well, I'll try to get in 20 minutes here, try to get in 30 minutes. I had to go back to setting a specific time with Him. That I'm like, you know what? It's God's time. My phone is on do not disturb. I cannot. So I'm saying all of this, and I've shared all this with you, because the next step in your journey in becoming her is to place Him first. This is where you make God your priority. You set a specific prayer time, word study time, and you tell the Lord, this is the time that I'm going to meet with you. This is how we are going to build this altar, because the Lord knows now that, it's time to meet with Shannon at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. I know she's going to show up. And then when she shows up, now when she's building herself up in the spirit, now that she's developing, there is a level of access I can now grant her. Or if there's something that I need to warn her about, I know at 9 a.m. so-and-so is going to be there. So God is relying on you to ensure that the altar is always burning. And so that's the next step on becoming her, is putting God as a priority. Now, when you put God first and you are now prioritizing Him in your schedule, like my schedule is based around you, the Lord, now this is going to set a boundary for you. Do you understand? Like if you say, for instance, the Lord and I are meeting at 9 o'clock p.m. every night from 9 to 10 before I go to bed. I'm only talking with the Lord. And then I'll say, you get in a relationship, or you start talking to somebody and they're like, hey, let's go at 9. I can't go at 9 because I have to meet with the Lord. This is how you know that you put Him first. From, my time is from so and so. I tell my friends, I tell my family, like, I will disappear. I can't miss it unless it's like an emergency. And I even ask Lord, Lord, my friend needs me right now, and I know that you want me to be a good friend, you want me to be a good daughter, but it's like I'm not making that an everyday excuse. Those are really on times where I can see that the Lord's like, okay, go. But that is how you set that boundary in life, that now it's like I can't miss time with the Lord. And to the singles, you want to establish this now. Because like I said, when you do get married, when you have children, when God increases your responsibilities, it's going to get even more challenging. However, you're already going to have a foundation settled and set that, okay, I gotta adjust the times right now. Maybe I need to meet with the Lord earlier. Maybe I need to meet with Him later. But I must meet with Him that day, every day. This is the next step for those who are becoming her. You got rid of the idols. You surrendered your will to the Lord. And 3, you are now developing a firm foundation. This is how you're prioritizing the Lord with daily fellowship. So I hope that helps. And for those who are interested in one-on-one counseling, whether you are working on self-development, want to start dating, or just need some clarity, maybe you just need some advice, maybe you need biblical understanding. So make sure that you book your one-on-one counseling session, and make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time. Bye.